Hello everyone and welcome to our first ever Patreon special. As it's our first special, we thought we'd kick it off with a Q&A. And it's all five of us on, so I've got Gadget with me.
Hello.
Candy.
Right.
Oodles.
Heyo.
And Biggie.
I'm not here.
Okay, Biggie's not here.
And not Biggie.
No Biggie this week, everybody.
Yeah, so if you've seen on our socials and our Discord, we opened up an Ask Us Anything channel where we encouraged everyone to just throw in questions and ask us whatever you wanted to, within reason.
Oh, they
obviously.
threw questions in, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
The fucking
Chucked them in
horrendous.
there.
So there's plenty of questions for us to get at in there, and you obviously get into our mindset a bit, as we do. But first off, I've had a request from my wife. A question.
Ooh.
Because every time I talk about this podcast, I always refer to everyone by their nicknames.
Right.
She wants to know where the nicknames come from.
Fuck.
Oh.
So we'll start with you, Gadget.
So mine started from 2013. I started up a YouTube channel and I wanted to do a kind of a Marcus Brownlee thing and do like tech reviews and stuff like that. So it was called Gadget Addicts. Then I realised I needed a lot of money to be able to buy all the gadgets that I wanted to review and talk about and stuff like that, because no one was going to send me things for free. But in the meantime, I'd gotten like a capture card so I could do like video game reviews and stuff like that, and ended up just doing Let's Plays of video games because I had no money. So people started, I always referred to myself as the Gadget Addicts, and people in the comments started referring to me as Gadget. And I thought, oh, that's pretty good. When I gave that up and gave up YouTube and went over to Twitch, the Gadget Addicts seemed like a really stupid name to have for a Twitch channel. So I changed it to Gadget 8-Bit because it was like Gadget Goes Apeshit. Yeah. And then
Very funny.
Yeah, and then everyone just kind of stuck to calling me Gadget, so that's where it came from.
Excellent.
What's your real name?
Michael.
Michael. All this time.
Yes.
See, now you've asked him his real name, Oodles. You have to reveal yours.
I will.
Yeah, but will you tell us the real one?
He's like the Joker. He's got a different real name for every person.
So where did Oodles come from?
Abroad. In Ireland, of all places. We were in a bar, and I was with female friends, and an Irish man said, I'll not do the accent, but look at him with oodles o' quim, as in lots of ladies, lots of quim.
Okay.
And I was oodles o' quim for a long time on Twitter, and then I realised how disgusting that sounds.
Took a while to realise that, did it?
Yeah, so I changed it to oodles o'
12
dim.
years.
Odim, which is Gaunter Odim from The Witcher 3's surname, obviously, and it just stuck, and then it just became Oodles, and yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
So it was from a place of misogyny.
Where all your
And you took it
stories
on as
start.
your own thing.
Yeah. It just sounded better in his accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if
And
you
you-
were referring to me or the fact that there were a lot of women there.
Not you. What about you, Biggie?
Mine's really basic. So when I went to the cruise ships, I'm quite a big guy. I'm 6'2", very broad. So a lot of people walk past, and we had quite a few Scottish people on there. When I used to go past, I used to go, "Right, big man," and all things like that. So that kind of stuck. So everyone used to call me Big Man. And then when I came shoreside, I got a PlayStation 3, so I went online for the very first time, and went to put Big Man in. Naturally, it had been taken. Couldn't think.
No way.
I know, surprising.
I mean, you are the biggest man. Like, surely they should have reserved that for you.
And then I happened to look up while I was thinking, and I saw my Liverpool shirt hanging up, and Cop came to mind for some reason, so it became Big Cop Man.
Mm-hmm. Which often gets mistaken for other things.
Absolutely, but also for the right reasons. For those that really know me.
It's when you say it in a southern accent as well, it sounds more like cock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've had a few listeners who thought he said Big Cock Man
Yeah.
to start with.
Well, I don't think Sony would let me have that one, to be fair.
No.
You just
How
got
about you
killed
could
by
spell
Big
it.
Cock
You could
Man.
spell it Koch.
Yes, you could do, but
Yeah.
then it implies I'm running around with a handgun. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or that he works for the Koch brothers.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Candy?
So when I was in my teenage years and early 20s, my favourite band was a band called Amen, which were a sort of punk metal band back in the day. And one of their hits was called Price of Reality. And one of the lyrics was abortion candy machine. So when I was on the forums, back when forums were a thing, I was abortion candy machine, which unfortunately sort of stuck until somebody pointed out to me that maybe I should lose the abortion bit because people don't like it.
Same.
So it's been candy machine ever since.
Excellent. Mine basically comes from my name.
Isn't it Old English or something?
Yeah, when I was
Your
looking
parents called you Stig?
No.
No.
He was born in a dump.
It's where Stuart originates from. So when I was looking for a gamer tag years and years ago on the 360, I was looking for something that was like unique. And I was just going for all these like really just standard names. Like, these are all shit. And I was just kind of looking around my room for inspiration. And I've got this little plaque thing that my mum gave me years ago. And it says, Stuart, from the Old English word Stigweird, meaning steward. A born leader of men, powerful and gallant. He will always rise to the challenge, whatever it may be. He will not be defeated. And that obviously describes me down to
I was about to say it, it's as if they know you.
Exactly. But I quite like Stigweird.
That'll be on your headstone.
It was quite unique.
I watched a medieval film a few months back. I forgot to mention it to you, and one of the characters was called Stigweird in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh! So he's probably Stuart nowadays, wouldn't he? It's that simple.
Yes. Yeah. But obviously it's just been abbreviated down to Stig because it's easier to say.
It's cool. It's cool sounding.
Easier.
Stig, innit? Stig
Yeah.
is just fucking Stig, man. Cool.
My
That's where mine comes from.
original name when I very first went into a forum was my porn star name, which was your dog's first name and your mother's maiden name, and that was my my tag.
Wow.
And it was Bass Bushell.
Ooh, yes.
See, I had to change my original one from forums because I named it after like a wrestler, and it was Edge and Christian.
It weren't Chris Benoit, was it?
No, God, no. When he went solo, he used to call his fans the peeps.
He did.
You are my peeps and everything, and I call myself the peep. And then after a while, I was like, this just sounds really like weird. Weird. Like I'm peeping at you. So yeah, I had to find something new. Right, we're gonna fire off into our questions from our listeners now, and we're gonna do a quick fire one. 3 questions to start with, just completely at random. Start with you, Gadget. What's your shoe size? Is Cheddar better than Red Leicester? And what's the best zombie movie?
12, yes. And the best zombie movie, I'd probably say the original Dawn of the Dead.
It's up there, mate.
Yep, Oodles, go.
10. Cheddar. And I'd say the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Ooh.
I'm glad you didn't say Army of the Dead there. I would have came down there and beaten the shit out of you.
No.
Terrible. Candy?
5. Cheddar, but that was a tough one. And Shaun of the Dead.
Motherfucker, I was
Sorry.
Nice.
You can pick the same one, it's fine. Go on,
No, you
Biggie,
can't.
go.
11, yes, and Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Or 21 days later.
Oh,
28 days later.
Mine is
That's
9.
one, 28.
Yep, mine is 9, Red Leicester, and Train to Busan.
I need to
shit.
see that at some
Yeah,
point.
Shit, yeah, that is really fucking good. Fuck. I'm not that into zombie films like that. I prefer the ones that are not too serious. That's the remake of Dawn of the Dead. It's a bit dafter than the original, isn't it? So.
With Zack Snyder, of course it is.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Now I feel terrible. Like I'm some kind of Zack
as you
Snyder
should.
lover.
So I was going to say the original Dawn of the Dead, but then I remembered about Train to Busan.
Yeah, Train to Busan is... yeah, I've seen that,
Yeah.
man. It's fucking brilliant.
Right, our first question is a very important question. It's a bit spoilerific, so if you haven't seen the film, then it's your own fault because it's been out since 1994 and it's one of the best films ever. How did Andy Dufresne attach that poster to his cell from inside the tunnel?
Oh. Remind me on Shawshank. Did they share cells? They didn't, did they?
No, he's
No, they
in a
didn't.
cell by himself. He attaches and he manages to attach that poster back to the wall.
The only way I could think is it's only attached by 2 top bits of tape. and it was still there, and then but no, they weren't tape on it either, were they?
Could he have used like sugar water? Maybe had he got that from the prison canteen and sort of boiled it? Well, he couldn't boil it, could he?
No.
Sort of mixed it super sugary and used it either side.
Or it's just a mistake that the movie people made.
Maybe. Do you know what? Have you seen that meme about the Shawshank where the guy where he puts his finger through the poster, and then it's just Andy Dufresne with his pants down on the other side.
Yeah. The ultimate glory hole.
Maybe just used what was it? Sticky back sellotape, whatever it is, the double.
Not in them days.
What?
It's
It's
like
It's like
in the 1930s prison.
30s, yeah.
when was it invented? Do you know when that double-sided tape was invented?
It's
Check
not
your
that
facts.
it
Check
might have been
your
invented,
facts.
mate. But do you think they'd have been giving it to prisoners?
And also, the point is, how
Smuggled it in.
does he stick that
Yeah,
back to the
once
wall
he's in the tunnel.
firm enough that it doesn't flap when they're all?
I think it's just a continuity error, and back in the day when they
Because you
didn't expect
inhale on the
people.
poster, you suck it in with your mouth,
Oh,
like
Jesus.
that, backwards.
Maybe.
And maybe these are the answers that the listeners demanded. You know,
I
They
reckon
wanted
he
to know.
asked. He was owed a favour by one of the sisters previously in the film, and he said, "I'm going to go in this tunnel. Will you stick the poster after me?"
Yeah, could have done that.
How did they get out?
They hid under the bed.
Okay,
I don't know.
there you go.
know.
There's your
I
answer.
think this is what the internet was invented for when this movie came out. For people to point that out.
It is a proper bad continuity error
It is.
when you think about that. That's really bad.
Yeah, most loads of films have them though, don't they? You could
Yeah.
pick out little things like that. Right, this one. Would you rather be constantly itchy or constantly sticky?
Itchy.
Itchy.
Yeah, itchy.
Sticky.
I said sticky.
I
When I
think
read this
sticky.
one, I was like, I can't stand being itchy.
If I'm
Imagine
constantly
not be-
sticky, I can just wear clothes.
Yeah, like not being able to get to an itch as well. What if it's right in a spot that you
Yeah.
can't get to?
What if
Like,
it's
that's-
right right in your
It's
ass?
sticky.
crack.
You're kicking everything.
Yeah.
You're stuck to everything. You can't use your phone. You can't hold anything because everything's stuck. to you.
Gloves.
Also, I'm usually some form of itchy, uncomfortable, or in pain in general. I'm never sticky though, so I'd rather go with the devil I know.
Oh, okay. No, I'd rather be sticky, man. I can live
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I'm going with sticky.
I mean, to be fair, Oodles, you look like if I touched you, you'd be sticky.
Oh, mate. Sticky thinking about it.
Whoa.
Just off that one as well. Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Too cold.
Too cold.
Too cold.
I hate being hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
God,
harder
being
to
hot
cool
annoys
down
the
than it is
piss
to
It
get
is
warm.
hard to cool down. Warm
you
up.
can't take your own skin off, can you?
No, remember on
Well, you can once.
That's science.
on Batman
baby.
Begins, when Bruce Wayne falls in the ice, and Ra's al Ghul says, "Don't bother doing it with your arms. Just hold your core, because your body will warm itself up. Don't be
But
going
if
like
you're
this."
too cold, if the idea is that you can't cool down because you're too hot, surely you can't heat up when you're too cold. You're just constantly cold.
You can, because we're warm-blooded animals.
No, but the point is that like at one point you're going to be you're either constantly cold or constantly hot.
Look. It's easier to wrap up than it is to shed.
Yeah, but then the question though leads to you can wrap up, but you still just get cold again. You're either constantly cold or you're constantly hot.
That's the same principle. If you're really hot, you'll cool down, but then you get hot
So
again.
either way, we're dying, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd rather be too hot because I can't stand being cold. I genuinely hate the winter weather, and I'd rather just lie around naked and sweaty.
I'll be right
Sticky.
next to you, mate.
Naked and sticky.
There you go. It all
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Is it a bigger social faux pas to drink alone or barbecue alone?
Barbecue.
I don't eat meat, so barbecue alone would be
Yeah,
weird.
I'd say
You could do
barbecuing alone would be weird.
non-meat things on a barbecue.
Oh yeah, but if I'm just saying, what are you doing on your barbecue? Neighbours shouting out, corn on the cob on my own. That's fucking weird.
I mean, the amount of effort to set up a barbecue just for
Yeah,
yourself
it's weird.
just seems like
I'm
a
just having a
complete
jacket
waste of
potato
time.
and corn. Do you know what I mean? It's just weird.
A couple of years ago, before I met Pip, I used to love like on a Saturday or something, popping down the pub with me book, grab a pint, and just sit in the corner and
I
just
do it all the fucking time, mate.
just nice and chill. Like, I mean, getting slaughtered by yourself—that's a bit weird.
I do that as well.
I know you do, and it's still a bit weird.
And then have a barbecue afterwards.
No, you buy a barbecue from a barbecue restaurant.
From a barbecue restaurant?
I don't fucking
This is
know.
Oodles at 2 a.m. in his back garden. There's cans of dragon soup all around him on a disposable barbecue trying to cook 2 carrots.
Grab me the butter.
I genuinely can see you doing that. Walking home from your friends, 1 a.m, going into like the co-op. Oh, I'll have a disposable
barbecue and some firelighters.
Yeah.
Light it in the living
Well,
room.
you seem like a very sane person at this time of night. Yes, of course, I'll sell you a barbecue set.
Yeah. I don't think they can tell. They can choose not to, I suppose, but they want the money.
Yeah.
We'd like some lighter fluid with that. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Speaking of dragon soup, this is obviously directed just for you, Oodles. How much dragon soup does it take to get stigged? And which flavour soup should I try first?
Me personally, I got really stigged after 6 cans. 4 is the perfect. I'm drunk. Do you know what I mean? The 5th one, you're like, oh, this is sickly. The 6th one, you're singing into cans. You know when you're doing that? Because it is like...
You're leaving Adidas Sambas across Yorkshire.
Yeah, it is like an 8% drink, so it's fucking strong. But the best one I've had, probably the one that... I forgot its name. It mimics Red Bull, but it's like a sweeter Red Bull. So if you like the taste of Red Bull, you're going to be all into it. It's like I think it's called Venom or something like that. A stupid name.
Of course it is.
Yeah, something stupid. But it's like mimicking energy drinks, but it's not got that that taurini taste that you get with Red Bulls. You know, like it's almost medical.
Yeah.
It's just really nice. It's probably just a mixture of loads of E numbers.
Yeah, it is called Venom.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I think I would like the blue raspberry, and is there an orange?
There is an orange one.
Peach and raspberry.
Yeah.
I quite like there is a Monster that's like an orange sherbety flavour.
Yeah. The worst flavour I've had is strawberry and lime, because you think, oh, they make really good strawberry and lime ciders, don't they? This one isn't.
No.
It's just not nice. It's got like sediments in it, like it's powdered. It's fucking gross, that one. Unless it were out of date.
Are we sponsored by Dragon Soup yet?
We should be.
You've talked about them for 3 podcasts in a row.
But yeah, if you're a person that, like, on an average night out, I can drink 6 to 7 pints of Guinness normally and get home relatively alive. You're looking about
relatively.
You're looking about 4 cans to feel it, to really feel it. Like, I've had 4 cans on this show, and you've been able to tell. 6 is you've had too many.
I'll tell you what, I might just put this to the test at Christmas time. Stick around, and I'll see how many cans of soup it takes me to get back into this.
The thing about it, the best thing about it is it's not fizzy, so you can just absolutely neck it. Like,
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's like dilute juice or something like that. You're just fucking necking it back. It goes straight down.
So when that Dragon Soup sponsorship comes in, we can get those slabs of soup in on the go and get absolutely stigged.
Yeah, I'd recommend Venom.
Say.
Venom's my number 1 at the moment.
Great. Right, now getting on to the brass tacks of the questions. Do you stand up to wipe your ass, or do you lean to one side?
It sounds like a Bobby Wayne question, this. The man's obsessed.
Also... on that was, how many sheets do you use per wipe?
How many sheeps?
Sheeps.
How many
I heard
sheets?
sheeps.
How many sheets? Not sheeps. How many sheets do you use to wipe?
I had to stop using sheep when the farmer used to start sending his dog after us.
Do you fold or scrunch the
like to-
paper? And if you fold, do you create additional folds for great economy per sheet of paper?
Ooh. Wow. This is hard, isn't this?
I lean and fold, to put it that way.
I fold and stand up.
Stand up.
Oh, a
That's
stander.
weird.
I know standers. I know them.
But don't your bum cheeks kind of fold together, though?
No.
You bend right. No,
bend
no,
over.
right over.
Like a child when you wipe a
I've
child's
just
bum.
always done it that way. I didn't know people did it differently. to be honest.
Bend right over, touch the my children bend right over and touch the floor with their hands.
I haven't told people how we're doing mine yet, so don't worry, Biggie.
I stand and
sink.
scrunch.
Stand and scrunch.
I lean forward slightly to the side, and I'm a 3-sheeter. And then
Oh.
fold it in half, wipe, fold it in half again.
I didn't
wipe.
know Gills pooed.
Sorry, we don't. I'm talking about the front, of course.
So
Oh,
if you break wind at the same time, you 3 sheets to the wind.
Hey!
I never break wind either.
Biggie, people are paying for
Not after
this.
you
Not these
finish.
bad jokes, please.
Yeah, always lean and fold, and then fold it over again, and you use the other side.
Are you ready for
Come on,
this? Are you ready for this? Is what I do,
Dun,
right?
dun, 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 dun.
So I open my legs akimbo,
You go under.
and I go past my balls, wipe from back to front,
Why?
a fold, and I use 2 sheets, and then I look at it, see what's happening, see if there's any,
Yeah, you got to look at
see
it.
what's happening. That looks healthy. Get a little lick. I'm joking. I don't give it a little lick.
That suits.
And I fold it over again if I can. If it's too thick, I won't. But I fold it over again, straight back past the balls. And that's how I do it. I used to be like Biggie. I used to be a stand-up, but then as late as college or in college, and do you know how boys will be boys? One of the lads were looking over the cubicle and he went, "You're the fucking stander." So I never stood since then.
I'd be more concerned about him looking over the top rather
Oh,
than
mate!
standing.
Back then, they all had Sony Ericsson Walkman phones, and they used to just put the phone over the cubicle and take photos of us and go, "Look at your knob," on his 2-megapixel camera.
Speaking of the knob, surely you're going through an obstacle course to wipe your butt as opposed to just going round the other way.
An
It is a
obstacle
fucking-
course, you
it is
mean?
an
That,
obstacle
that
course,
seems
mate.
like a strange way to do it.
Because I like to remind my tackle that I'm still thinking about it at all times.
What have we wrought upon this world?
I'm just telling you, that's how I do it. Like,
Hey, the listeners asked the questions.
Legs
We're just
akimbo.
answering them, aren't we? They wanted to know how we wipe our butt.
plus now, Biggie's not the weirdo that stands up. I'm the fucking weirdo, and I'm defending my boys.
Well, in the Philippines, they have a little hose attached to the toilet which has a spray on it, which is quite hygienic as well.
In my
to
house, we have a bidet, and
Ooh,
I
look
put
at you.
high pressure mode on every
Bidet.
time.
I would like to try one of those Japanese toilets that
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
sprays and cleans your bottom.
They've got them in some airports in America as well. Really good.
The Japanese toilets, apparently, when it's finished, a little hand pops out and just gives you a nice little pat on the butt as you get up.
Yeah.
Oh, like a high five.
Yeah.
Well done, you. Well done for pooing.
Thanks for that.
So yeah, Oodles is the weirdest.
To the surprise of nobody.
Just being honest. I've always been candid.
I thought you were going to do a handstand in the shower or something.
I can do a handstand if you want me to do that as first live event.
In a shower.
No, just a handstand in general. Just,
Well, hopefully we'll come up with something more entertaining than that. But yeah, we'll put that down.
I can do many tricks.
Whilst barbecuing.
A con on the cob.
Does it require the use of treats to get you to do the tricks?
Yeah. Usually dreamies.
Right. So we have solved that question.
That mystery, one of life's
The
great
mystery.
mysteries.
Most mysteries. Girls do in fact poo.
Yeah.
Sorry
Weird,
to break
that.
it to everyone.
I thought you did a little bit of dust, like phew, just comes
Yeah,
out.
and it's all
man
gone.
noodles.
That's all there is to it.
Tell you
And
what,
it's- and
actually-
it's pink as well.
My wife
That-
says she don't shit.
That's one of the best feelings. Ghost poo, isn't it? White.
Yeah.
Nothing on there. Oh, excellent.
Top 10, that's top 10.
Yep.
Absolutely, mate.
Yep. Speaking of one of life's greatest achievements, what's your greatest sporting achievement?
I didn't come last in the fantasy football.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You came second to
Nope.
last.
Came second to last, which means I'm officially not
And
the
I
worst
came
at football.
third to last.
And you were trying.
And I were fucking trying.
So if anyone has seen me in real life, they know I'm not the sporting type. I think my greatest achievement that is anywhere close to sporting might be that I used to really enjoy running, and I used to be able to do 5K in like 35 minutes.
I've never ran in my life.
Until I fell over getting out the car. Like after I got out the car, and you get sometimes you get those gutters in like kind of older towns where it kind of goes down onto like cobbles in the gutter. I got it, and where I put my right foot down, the stone was loose. So when I put my weight on it to push myself out of the car, the stone moved, and I toppled over and like did my ankle in.
Dear me.
But like I was training for the Great North Run and everything. I was really annoyed with myself.
Fuck.
But yeah, that's like the closest I've got to a sporting achievement.
Forrest
I used
Gump.
to drag. Yeah, I used to Forrest Gump my fat ass around Chesterley Street.
Nice, man. Nice.
Nice. Anyone else?
I used to play a lot of ice hockey and roller derby, and I somehow haven't ever managed to break a bone or anything.
Break anyone else's bones.
Yeah, it's breaking others' bones. But I did have a lot of friends who did break bones, so I thought I'd better give it up because it was my turn next.
I have broken many bones playing rugby.
Not playing sport
myself. Oh, I have done other injuries from non-sporting related things, but my greatest sporting achievement is second team player of the year. What year was it? I've got my flask here. 2007, 2008.
He did need to look in you.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. I found that the other day in the loft. I was like, I'll keep that out.
Yeah, it's been on Pride Place. We see that shelf every week that we record.
Oh, I know, it's only come out recently. Check back those videos. I was like, where can I put this? Oh, I'll put it on my shelves. Yeah, just had a really good year one year when I was second team rugby. Just absolutely smashing it. Like down the wing, scoring loads of tries, making some big tackles. Nice. And then got voted best player in the second team, promoted to the first. The rugby club do that year was a bit of a haze for me because you not only got your little flask, but you got given the trophy for the year, and then the trophy got filled with copious amounts of alcohol, which you were then told to drink out of. So
rugby players do drink like they don't want to live anymore.
Yes, so I spent, like, my evening was literally, here's a big trophy cup, and people just filling it with booze, and me just drinking it.
Wow.
That's not like you.
No, I don't drink at all.
I played in a crew versus passengers football match, and it was a football cruise. So they had
on a boat,
on the cruise ships. Yeah, we used to play shoreside. We went shoreside, and they had. This is for football fans. Peter Osgood was there. Gordon Banks.
No way.
Norman Hunter, Alan Mullery, and Alan Mullery was the referee, and I was in goal for the crew. And this Indian lad that was playing in defence basically tried to clear the ball as it came over. And all I can say is he kind of did something along the lines of the Karate Kid manoeuvre, where he kind of crane kicked this guy under the chin. So then the ref blew the whistle, and then Norman Bites Your Legs Hunter steps up to take the penalty. And I absolutely shat my pants. But as he hit it, I saved it, got a spiral fracture in my finger. The ball rebounded, went back to him, and he shot it past me, so it was still a goal. But afterwards, Gordon Banks came up to me and said that it was a great save, and I was like, woo!
So for a brief 2-second window, you'd saved a professional footballer's strike.
Yes, and broke my finger at the same time.
Nice.
It's impressive.
For me, not very well known, but I'm quite a big American football fan. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I always have been since I got into the sport. You know, back in the day when they used to play it on British telly.
Like at 2 a.m. on Channel 4 and stuff like that.
And I went to Lambeau Field. It's people that have got me on my Facebook, you can see the photos on that. Lambeau Field's their home stadium, it's Green Bay. And it was do you know when you go to them stadium, they walk you around and stuff, them tours, like you do in England with English football. Mm-hmm. And there was one bit where they were doing like a field goal, not competition, but does anyone want to kick this pigskin? And Mrs. is going, go on, do it. You want to do it? I'm like, I'm embarrassed. I can't kick that. And I kicked it, and I did it. Don't get me wrong, it weren't regulation. I'm not fucking...
We better sign this, kid.
I was going to say, I kicked it, and then they brought me on in the last minute of the game.
The whole stadium stood up and applauded.
Oodles! Oodles!
And...
you got a phone call from the president.
That was fun. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but then you think about I was only like 20 yards away. It weren't like they do it from fucking 40 yards. You know what I mean? They do it from crazy fucking... things. And the second greatest achievement is when my son was 3. There's a video as well on my Facebook, but it's private, so you can't see it unless you're my friend. I threw an American football at the field outside my house, and he were quite far away, and I'm not going to hit him. Threw it, plonked straight on his head, and knocked him on his ass. and he's crying, and I turned around to my wife filming it. I went, did you see that? Did you see that? Fucking hell, that were incredible. And she's like, go get him, he's crying.
That reminds me of what I did with Amelia. We were at grandma's house, and I was kicking a football around the back garden. I was filming me, like, playing around with her, and I went up to her, put it through her legs. I was like, Megs, just like through it, and you just hear her on the end of the video going, Daddy,
me!
Absolutely chock-eyster.
Yeah.
I'm not very sporty, though. That's my issue. I like watching it. I like looking at stats and stuff, but I don't like exercise in any way.
Days of long
I used to
gone.
love playing rugby, and then I just got getting injured too much.
Don't get me wrong. I'd always join in on if I see some lads playing about on a field, or if my mates are like, "Come on, kick about on the field." I mean, that hadn't happened in about 15 years. But if it did, I'd run around for 5 minutes before I got out of breath. You know what I mean?
Does your kids' school still do like parents' race?
Yeah, I came 4th out of about 10 of us last time.
I have waited so long to do the parents' race because I'm quite fast at a sprint.
My job was just not to be last, and I'm mid-table. You know what I mean? Like a
And
proper
I
Leeds
was like, I'm ready for this. Went to the media's first sports. I was like, I'm ready for this. Like, I wore clothes that I could like
You're a
run in.
competitive dad, aren't you?
Yeah, oh
Of
yeah.
course
I
he
was
is.
like, I wore trainers that I could run in. I was like, I'm
He'd be
gonna
like,
fucking
Amelia,
smash
you're a
this.
Liverpool fan. Don't let him forget. Can't I
Turns-
choose, Dad?
Turned around and they were like, oh, they don't do that anymore. It's not even competitive for the kids. And I was like,
Oh,
this
we
is
do it. Yeah, they do it at
fucking
ours.
bullshit. I was like, this is bullshit. I have waited for 4 years since
Your kids
since
go to
Amelia was
posh
born
school,
for
though,
this.
don't they? You have to
No,
pay
no,
for
no.
your kids' school.
No. Just one of the standard
Hogwarts.
ones in town. I was devastated. I was ready to say my greatest sporting achievement was winning the dads, smashing the other dads at the dad
Yeah,
race. But
I came 4th out of like 10 or 12, so I was absolutely happy with that. I didn't need a medal. I just
Yeah.
didn't need to be last.
right, next question. Where do you sit on the religious or philosophical spectrum? Which systems of beliefs most closely align and how you experience the world?
Who wants to start that?
Not religious in this. I'll go with it. Not religious in the bloody slightest. Never have been, never will be. When I was growing up as a kid, my dad was very much a man who would say, if I want to be religious later in life, that's up to me. He didn't want to force the idea upon me. Didn't even like that I went to schools where we had like prayers and like singing hymns in assembly and stuff like that.
Yeah, that used to be
But-
like just normal, didn't it?
Yeah.
It still
Yeah.
is to a point.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not religious in the slightest. I have no desire to be. But I know a lot about religion. Like I have read
Yeah.
big chunks of the Bible.
Do you treat it as
Um,
like more of a mythology type thing? Like a. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah. Story.
Yeah,
I'll
I-
wait till they adapt it into a movie.
They've done it many, many, many times, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm also kind of I have a very dim view of the concept of religion. Like I admire people who have faith. Like I think it's a very impressive thing to have faith in something and faith in like a belief system.
Yeah.
I very much dislike the idea of organized religion and the concept of religion and the fact that it's without getting into the politics of it, but it's rich people controlling poor people.
Tends
through
to be,
fear.
doesn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, that's if you read my book, it's not very complimentary about religions.
It's not, mate. It's not. It's not.
It's really not, and possibly not very subtle about it either. Yeah, so yeah, I'm probably. I don't want to say like I'm a proud atheist. I am just an atheist because I'll never denigrate somebody for believing in something.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm same. I grew up going to church. I went to a Church of England school, but I used to go to church every week with my mum and my brother and sister. And then eventually the three of us just decided we didn't want to go anymore.
Mhm.
And that was it. I was just like, not interested in it. Like Gadget says, I've no problem if people want to believe in a religion or a kind of belief or way of life. That's completely up to them. As long as they're not harming anyone doing it, perfectly fine. If my kids turn around and say they want to go to church, they can go to church, they do what they want. But as far as I believe, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in there being an overall power, or I don't believe in fate or luck or anything like that. I just think life is what it is, and we just make the best of it.
See, I really wish that I believed in some kind of an afterlife or something, because thinking that there isn't, which, I'm not religious, I'm with the same. I don't, if people are religious, that's fine, but I'm personally not. And knowing that there's probably just nothing after you're gone is scary. What I do believe is, all energy comes from somewhere, and the energy that you've used to create a body to sort of carry you around for your whole life, it carries on, doesn't it? So, you're dead, you go into the ground, the worms eat you, a tree is suddenly grown. So you live on in a way, but just not in a sort of conscious heaven and hell sort of a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to everyone else here. I'm actually Catholic, but only by
Lack of choice.
well, I was Christian when you what do you call Church of England, and then when I got married, my wife is very religious from a Filipino background. Her brother's a priest.
Yeah.
He married us, but we had a discussion, and they felt it would be sort of nicer in a way, more respectful if she married a Catholic. So I said, look, how does it work about converting? And I went through the little ritual of converting to be a Catholic, but I don't practice. It's not my thing. I'm very respectful of my wife. She goes to church when you could every Sunday. She sings in the choir. I've been to church a few times, but more supportive and respectful. When we had our miracle child, our daughter is named Faith, and it's obvious from one side of the family, from Janet, where she nearly lost her faith because she tried very hard to have a child.
Yeah.
For me, it was more about the faith in ourselves and our marriage, about us surviving what we were going through, and then to have a miracle child. The name just seemed to...
And that's the
to fit
ultimate
for me.
belief, isn't it? Believing in yourselves.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm very similar to everybody else, but I am Catholic, but I don't practice.
It's weird for
And
me.
I'm very respectful of
Yeah.
everybody else's.
I grew up in a very religious household. I'm not going to divulge why and what, but it was. And I fell for a lot of that stuff. I don't know in fault. I weren't tricked, don't get me wrong. I always had a kind of a... No, I didn't have a choice. Let me be frank, I didn't have a choice. And then as I became older, I started just not being religious. Now, I believe in religious freedom massively. If you want to be religious, you can. In my opinion, it shouldn't affect people that don't want to be religious. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be that perfect balance, and currently there isn't. Obviously, there never probably will be. It's a bit of a waste of an ideology, really, for that kind of freedom, isn't it? If you think about it, because there's always going to be someone teetering that balance. But yeah, I currently, and I'm saying that currently because I think I'm more agnostic in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
If
You believe there's something there, but not necessarily one particular faith.
I don't know what's there. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's trouble because I've never really thought about it. I don't believe in Mr. God. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe.
It's an interesting
Mr.
concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many different gods around the world.
Yeah.
It seems like a
my
strange thing.
my wife's very, very fucking paganistic. She believes in many gods and stuff. She's a hippie and she's very proud of that, and she believes in different deities and creatures and Wiccan stuff and all that. And I believe she's allowed to. And my kids come home from school and say stuff like, Jesus is powerful, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, sure. I don't say yeah. I don't say yeah or no. I believe you should be able to choose, and coming from a very religious background then, not Jesus-based, it's hard for me to not feel a little bit of my life might have been a little bit easier if we didn't have that in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like this topic. I never have, but I believe it.
Dear listener, can you tell that we're not used to talking about serious shit?
And I'm not drinking.
Well, yeah, the biggest problem with religion, of course, is that it can cause a lot of arguments like politics. It's a difficult subject matter, which is why we keep it out of.
And we did get told. Wasn't the question about political alignings as well?
No.
No, it's philosophical.
Philosophical, that was it. Yeah. So yeah, philosophically for me, I believe you can choose your own. If you want to use the word destiny or beliefs or anything like that, it's up to you. As long as don't let it affect anyone else without their choice. You know what I mean? It's got to be up to an individual. I don't believe in a people as in we are a group of, because even let's say two Greek Orthodox Christians, they've probably got different beliefs. Even if they go to the same church, they believe in the same God, they believe in the same doctrine. They've probably still got varying degrees of belief, haven't they? And
So really, what you're saying, Udos, is that you can have your own personal Jesus.
basically, Depeche Mode got it right. Yeah. That's right. That's absolutely right. So yeah, it's
Moving
freedom.
swiftly along.
Yeah.
Moving on to the more serious topic. Mr. Blobby and Big Bird from Sesame Street get into a scrap. Who wins?
Blobby.
It's Blobby.
Oh, Blobby's on so much
He's a
cocaine.
force of
it's unreal.
nature.
He's just pure
insane.
chaos, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
insane.
So
Totally
for those
agree.
who don't know, if you are not a UK listener, Mr. Blobby was
A resident of
Fucking
Crinkly
Google
Bottom.
him.
just Google him,
He's
just
from
YouTube
Crinkly
him.
Bottom, isn't he?
He was this mascot on Noel's house party in the 90s, and it was just this nightmare fuel of this big inflatable man.
His eyes, though.
big googly eyes.
And most
He was he
irritating
what
voice.
pink with
Pink with yellow spots.
yellow
had a tie
polka
on.
dots, and he'd run around causing chaos, and all he would say was Blobby.
Blobby,
And he'd
Blobby,
run around just
Blobby.
going Blobby, 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 and just running into people, running into sets, just causing absolute chaos.
It wasn't just he'd say blobby blobby, but they had this weird kind of digital filter on that sounded like
Two-tone
made him sound like
words.
some
Oh
kind of
yeah,
Lovecraftian nightmare.
It sounds a
He's-
bit like Stig, actually.
I've got me picked
He's-
up on at least.
Hey, that's the love. I love that colour at the moment. I'm right into that colour at the moment. So
The thing is, in that matchup, in that fight, in that celebrity deathmatch classic, Big Bird is clearly the good guy here because Big Bird he's wholesome, he's lovely, he's lawful good,
yeah,
and then you've got Blobby, who is chaotic evil.
Yeah.
I think he's beyond that. I think
He's
he's
pure
nature.
evil.
He's just nature. Like Blobby has got the same trajectory as a tornado. You can't stop it. The only thing you can do is be warned about it. I mean, the ultimate is Emu. Emu's the purest of evil.
yeah, but that's because his puppeteer was a baddie.
Yeah.
Stig, I think when you edit this, you should maybe drop in a clip of Mr. Blobby's #1 single.
Oh yeah.
I believe that got to number
We're
one.
all going to be singing that for the next week.
With the little kids singing. But I think ultimately, though, to answer the question, like Big Bird's a learned man. He's do you know what I mean?
Oh, he's a scholar.
He's a scholar.
And a
He
gentleman.
wants to teach. He doesn't. I don't think he's a fighter. Now he has got height and probably got strength on his side. But Blobby, as I said, he's just a cyclone. He's
Yeah.
pure.
Like Big Bird would want to like talk it out.
Yeah. Can
and
we discuss this, Blobby?
Can we discuss this? What?
There ain't no
you know,
reasoning with Blobby.
No,
And
and
the
he
thing
just
is,
come in like a
Blobby's-
wrecking ball and
Blobby's got
smash
a
it.
knife.
Shit.
Blobby's also got a wife and a child, if you remember. And
Oh, he fucking does. What does he?
his child's probably an adult now. So Big Bird hasn't got a wife and child. So Blobby's son's probably an absolute fucking hard bastard.
Oh, he's probably in strange ways.
Yeah.
No, have any of you ever watched Big Fat Quiz of Everything?
Yeah.
And
Briefly, yeah.
they did one. It was like one of the questions from the 90s. Jack Whitehall was on there, and he was just talking randomly. He was just like, I used to hate Mr. Blobby. Scared the shit out of me as a child. Cannot like deal with Mr. Blobby. And they had Mr. Blobby there, like to deliver the final question.
He's frightening.
And he came out and he burst out of this thing at the end. And Jack Whitehall was just like, the look on his proper pure terror on his face. It's just like, no, I can't do it. And Blobby's just like running around like an absolute mentalist. It's like,
I'll have to track that clip down.
I think
Yeah.
Blobby could survive an extinction level event. And
yeah, you had the cockroaches, the
Yeah.
rats, and Mr. Blobby.
yeah.
And Keith Richards.
Yeah, and Keith Richards.
Yeah.
And they will have to repopulate the world.
I think it was.
The blubberling.
Oh God! I don't know. God, Jesus Christ! But yeah, I think that was quite an easy question to answer, really, because Blobby is just ultimate. He is probably the personification of Mother Nature.
So you know what?
He's a
though?
destroyer.
You have to do now, Candy, is come up with some Mr. Blobby Keith Richards hybrid.
Oof, yeah. I can see it
What,
already.
Mr. Blobby on heroin?
Jesus. Oh,
And
God.
tattoo it on somebody.
Yeah.
I'll
Get it
have
on
it.
myself.
I'll
yeah,
have it.
let's all get it.
Yeah. So it's seriously, if you aren't from the UK and don't know who Mr. Blobby is, just YouTube him.
Don't say his name 3 times in a mirror, because he will come and destroy your town.
Next one, it's a bit of a thinker. I'm struggling on this one. What's the best gig you've ever been to?
Oh, easy. I went to see Motorhead and God Forbid, and it was also my first gig. And I was
That's a hell of a first
I was
gig.
Hell of a
13.
first gig.
and I got to smell Lemmy, and he stank. I saw his little bum bag of speed. He had a little bum bag of speed on him. I'll unzip it, have a little bit of speed, keep him going.
As you do.
As he did. Yeah, it was just a fucking absolute... It just like, I was getting into rock music and heavy music at that time, and that I went with my friend. I was that young. My friend's dad that took us to Sheffield, he waited outside in the car for the gig to finish. You know, like Homer on The Simpsons when he's listening to Spanish Flea. It was like that. And then we were the smallest there. We were at the front. There was a mosh pit behind us, and it's fucking... This will let me before... I mean, I said before he was dying. He's always been dying, hasn't he?
Since the 80s, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, God forbid as well, they're really heavy. It was just... What a fucking... And it just solidified the fact that I'm probably going to be a mosher forever. Really.
I miss a good mosh pit.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time.
For me, I would say... So the thing is, I find it very hard to pin down a single one. So because I've seen so many good ones. First one off the top of my head would be 2007, seeing the Foo Fighters with Serge Tankian in support.
Oof.
It was when Serge released his first solo album.
Empty Walls, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came out on stage, and that man can sing. Oh, but he's like a proper stage man.
Is that operatic, isn't he, when he sings on... Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. And then the Foo Fighters came on, and the Foo Fighters are just brilliant. They're just wonderful live.
So
band.
consistent.
Lots of fun to watch. Yeah. So that one was great. Possibly 2004, I saw Rammstein for the first time on the Rise of Riser
tour.
tour.
Did they set you on fire?
So nice.
Nearly. I was pretty close to the front.
They're fucking flamethrowers, man. Jesus.
I got whacked in the head by the bass player when he did his crowd surfing in the dinghy because he had the oar and he bashed me on the back of the head. So that was fun. But then, and this is technically the headline act were the worst band of the night because the headline act were Dragon Force.
Oh.
But Turasas were supporting them. And Turasas, if you don't know them, they are...
Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. Yes.
Yeah, Swedish Viking metal band with fucking war paint and pelts. And they were supporting, they did a 45-minute set. And in that 45-minute set, they knocked out a load of their bangers. But they had this wonderful moment in the middle. You know how when you see bands normally when they're headline? And they'll do like kind of a bit of a jokey section in the middle where they'll do a bit of a jam or they'll have some kind of prepared sketch so most of the band can take a rest and like have a drink and recuperate. They did this thing which was where the lead singer was kind of stood on the stage, the lights went down. So he talked about the ages of music, how the gods bestowed music upon man. And he said, and the god bestowed the chord on us, and then the light would come on, the violin player would play a chord. And then he bestowed melody on us, and she played some like classical music on it. And then he bestowed rock, and she played some Iron Maiden on the violin. And he said, and then he bestowed upon us speed metal. And she starts playing. She started playing Through the Fire and the Flames on her violin. Better than Dragon Force would play it an hour later.
I bet Herman Lee will be beside himself.
It was so funny, but they were so good and so precise and so wonderful. So I would definitely say if you get the opportunity, whether you like their music or not, if you get the opportunity to see Turasas live, go and see them because they are so much fun live.
Great band.
I went to see the band Ghost, and I don't know if you've heard of Ghost.
Yeah.
I saw them in 2018 at the Royal Albert Hall.
That fucking Square Hammer song.
Oh, Square Hammer's brilliant. They're a band. So the singer dresses up as a demonic pope, currently called Papa Emeritus in his current form, and his band are called the Nameless Ghouls, who all sort of dress up as well in a kind of uniform, and it's all very. It's a little bit of silly Satanism, I'll call it. So you'll go to the Church of Ghosts and pretend to be Satanists for a couple of hours, but just to the backdrop, as you do, just to the backdrop of the Royal Albert Hall with a big organ in the back, and everyone that we started queuing at about 9 o'clock in the morning so we could be there in the front row, and it was just everything about the show was perfect. The setting, the gig lasted about 3 hours, and it was just Ghost. There was no support bands, and they had a break in the middle and everything. It was a proper.
Did they do Year Zero live?
They did Year Zero live. They did all of them. They did all of them. It was fantastic.
Imagine for a band like Ghost, like walking the Royal Albert Hall and the keyboard player just seeing that organ. It's like, oh!
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, I pay so much money for so many patches to make this
Are
sound.
they Italian? Are they Italian? Am I getting that right?
Swedish. Well, the singer's Swedish. I think the band is kind of a bit of a revolving door, I think, most of the time. I think they're mostly European, I believe.
Yeah. I know he doesn't look like that. I know that's a mask he wears, but yeah. Yeah.
I think actually Dave Grohl at one point was playing drums for them.
I've heard that before, yeah. Especially with his ghoul mask on, you can't tell, can you?
To be fair, you move through anyone through LA, Dave Grohl's playing drums for them.
Yeah.
Whether they're a band or not, you travel through LA, Dave Grohl's there playing drums for you.
Not long before the pandemic, Dave Grohl was touring with the Foo Fighters, the American Foo Fighters, their biggest cover band, and he were touring with them for a bit as their drummer.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So we're the Foo Fighters, like a Fool Fighters, that's what they call themselves. And our drummer's Dave Grohl. He's like, hello. So yeah, it's
because they couldn't afford Taylor Hawkins, could they?
No.
How about yourself, Biggie?
I saw Cypress Hill live when they launched the
Lower
Black
in the
Sunday
tone.
album. Yeah.
We're all moshers, mate.
They came riding out on a massive spliff. And this was also when you can smoke inside as well. So they were.
So you were smoking spliffs as well.
They were smoking them throwing them into the crowd, which is amazing. And then about halfway through the act, they were anti-alcohol, which is really weird. They started pouring bottles of alcohol on the stage, going, "Weed good, alcohol bad," sort of thing. It was really weird. Because I like both. It's
I was about to say, mix, yay!
But that was really good. And then more recently, because I'm a massive fan of theirs, is Children of Zeus. I saw them live in Brighton and London, and they're a hip hop, soul, R&B group. And not only do they obviously produce their own music, they rap, and Tyler Daly, is incredible singer live as well. His harmony is just incredible. To do that live as well and rap is something else. They're really good. That's it.
One day we will get a Biggie rap.
I would have cheat slightly and mention a few, not loads, but two of them happened on the same weekend at Download.
That counts
2013. So the first one would be Slipknot, who headlined. And
Slipknot a very good live.
Mainly just as well for being in the crowd. And just being crazy for like the whole set, and if you've been to a Slipknot gig and you've experienced Spit It Out, that's just insane, and it's so much fun.
You'll enjoy this. When I saw Slipknot, I was recovering from an injury at the time. I was recovering from a bad knee injury. So when they did Spit It Out, I couldn't sit down on the floor. I couldn't bend. I would have been able to get down, but I wouldn't have been able to get back up. You know, it's that kind of thing. Like I had very little limited motion in my knee, so it's kind of the entire of the Newcastle Metro Radio Arena sits down. There's just me stood there going, "Hi."
Did you get any bottles thrown at you?
No,
of piss.
Oddly enough, I didn't. I was stood far enough back that 99% of the audience didn't notice. But it was.
I think I must have been.
Surreal moment.
I was at that gig. I think
you must have seen him.
I've been at a gig at Metro Arena. Slipknot.
It was the one with where Children of Bodom were supporting them.
That tosser with long hair, because you probably had long hair then as well, didn't you?
No, I'd cut my hair by then.
Oh, right.
I still had hair then.
I think Korn were supporting them when I went.
No, that was the time after I saw them.
Yeah. But Spit It Out, if you don't know, is basically he tells everybody to get down, bend down, so the whole crowd bends down. Then he does this quick little rap and shouts, "Get the fuck up," and everyone gets the fuck up and bounces around
really impressive to watch when you're not doing it.
It's really, really good.
And if you did it nowadays, I'd be like, my hip.
Yeah.
Well, I notice now it takes the audience a lot longer to jump the fuck up than it did 10 years ago.
Oh, my sciatica.
Everyone jumps up and puts the back out.
Yeah.
All you hear is cracks and creaks.
That same weekend.
No, thank you.
The weekend was finished off by Rammstein. It's the first time I've ever seen Rammstein live. They're incredible live. Just the music itself, but the stage show, the pyro, the flames, the craziness. The band are just absolutely off it.
Yeah, they definitely know how to put on a good show.
I do love how most of their lyrics are very simplified German words. A lot of them are just very simple. To Germans, they're like, this is not a very good, well-written song.
Yeah, well, one of the Sonny starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, go.
Yeah,
that's how it starts.
Or do Hasta's just you hate me.
Yeah.
It's like But the opening, I just love the opening. They played It's True to V, and obviously it starts like it's got this thing that's like dum 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 dum. And
That's
when
how
it's
they
doing
all
that,
start.
Pyro was just bouncing off the side of the stage, and then when the main chords opening did, like this big huge curtain dropped, and he was lowered from the ceiling on this like lift with all this pyro going off around his feet. He's there in this big leather suit, apart from this big pink like feather boa jacket he's got on.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the guy's insane. Like,
Did you ever hear about
brilliant.
that Rammstein thing where do you know, because they did that Fire for I for Triple X, didn't they? For the film, and they were doing a PR event where they were going to get Vin Diesel to come on stage at a Rammstein gig, and Vin Diesel had been watching it for about 50 minutes, and he just went, "I'm not going up there." And the PR it was completely he wouldn't go up.
He probably would have got booed.
Yeah, he said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
The best thing to see at a Rammstein gig, and one to look up on YouTube if you see it, is how they perform Engel.
Oh,
Because it's basically the lead singer Till, and he's stood in the middle of the stage, and usually it's just the spotlights are on him, the band are kind of in the background, and the song builds, and he's basically got this because Engel means angel. He's got this set of metallic wings that just will pop up, and then fire just comes out of
him
them.
up into the air.
He gets lifted off the stage. Like for like half the song, he's just stood still on a spotlight. It doesn't move around. He's got the microphone in front of him. And then by the end of it, he's in the air. There's fire coming off his wings, and you're watching it. And I've seen them live 3 times now, and every time I see it, just my jaw's on the floor. I'm always impressed.
They look
by it.
so
It's
filthy though,
incredible.
like they need a bath.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They're covered
I know
in soot,
they're putting
and
soot on their faces deliberately and stuff, but get a wash.
yeah, and also they put that kind of flame retardant Vaseline.
Yes,
on
of
their
course,
face
yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
Yeah,
So
I
that
think the
probably
guitarist ended up walking around with the flamethrowers attached to the guitars.
All the mouths.
The DJ was like, when I saw them, was sat in a cauldron until kept coming up with a flamethrower and trying to set the cauldron on fire while he's in it. It's like a complete opposite end to all this. Is one of my favorite
Avril Lavigne.
gigs was no, I've never seen Avril.
Oh,
City and Colour at the Royal Albert Hall, and it was just mainly because it's the first time I've ever seen him. I think he's got an amazing voice, but the acoustics for that place is just built perfectly for the type of music it was, and it just sounded like amazing.
oh yeah, best sounding gig I ever went to on Muse. The actual sound of that gig is better than like Motorhead. Fucking hell, Motorhead were like on 2 PV amps. Do you know what I mean? It fuck all. But Muse, it was like a symphonic fucking thing. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ! It
I
was
saw
incredible.
Phantom of the Opera,
Mm.
and we were right in front of the stage where the orchestra were, and that was incredible.
Right
Doing
underneath
that.
the chandelier that drops on your head.
I think for the best sounding gig I've ever been to, that might have been Caro Emerald. She's a electro swing singer from Denmark.
That
And she
sounds
played-
niche.
Well, no, she's quite popular. She's had a
Alright.
couple of number 1 singles. But just the furthest thing from metal you could expect, but they're just really good pop songs with a kind of a vintage vibe to them. And me and my ex saw her in Newcastle City Hall. And the acoustics were brilliant, sounded great, sounded spot on. Her voice was brilliant. Yeah, loved it.
I did cry at one gig, the final one I'll talk about. I got to see the Black Mages. Now, if you don't know who they are, that's Nobuo Uematsu's metal band.
Alright.
And they played all the Final Fantasy songs, and I cried.
I was going to say, did they do One Wing Angel?
Yeah, I cried my eyes out. They get other singers on, because none of them are singers. They're just all Nobu's on his piano, and a few other guys are on guitars and stuff. And I will cry my eyes out.
I've been went to one of the Final Fantasy concerts
Yeah.
at the Royal Albert Hall as well, and I just wept my way through
Yeah,
it.
I was fucking bad.
Along with everyone else, yeah.
God.
I love going to like orchestral ones, but I went to see one of it was the music of John Williams, and that was brilliant. Like the conductor was so good as well. Like obviously when he played Superman and that, and he was just stood there and he was like, and he ripped open his shirt and he had like a Superman thing underneath, and then like he went off and like for the finale it was just like dum 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 dum, and he came out with a Vader costume on and conducted them with a lightsaber.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Class act.
Right, a few other quick ones before we get into our final question. What film couldn't you finish? Have you ever walked out of one or just turned it off?
Yes. I've said it before on podcast. Kinky Boots. Walked out of that. Not the film I thought it was going to be.
What film did you think it was going to
I
be?
thought it was going to be sexy. No, it's about Chiwetel Ejiofor dressing up as a woman and creating boots, isn't it, or something like that?
It's finding a niche for
Men's
a
shoes.
shoemaker's factory. Yeah, for basically making shoes for drag queens and trans women.
Yeah, but I took a date and it weren't.
Did you think you were going to get lucky off the back of concludes?
Yeah.
There we go. There it is. Just admit your faults. Admit when you're really wrong.
I turned around to her and I said, "Enjoying this?" She's like, "No." And I made the mistake. I walked out of Rain of Fire because I don't know if anyone's been to Butlins before. Have you ever been to Butlins?
No.
So Butlins, once you pay in,
There's one down my way.
once you pay in for a week, you get to just do everything for free. Mainly, a lot of the stuff, and they had an Odeon there, so you could just go to the cinema as many times as you want. And believe it or not, it's not packed because everyone's on holiday, and I'm the little emo mosher kid that doesn't want to enjoy the sun. So I went into the cinema, and I walked out of Rain of Fire. Thought it were a bit boring. I went back and watched it next day anyway, so because it was free.
I have never walked out of a cinema once. Even films that I just don't enjoy. Yeah, I'm like, I've paid for this. I want to see it through, and I want to
Eat
know.
your popcorn and shut the fuck up.
I think one of the films that I'm glad I never paid for because we snuck into. Me and my brother went to see The Dark Knight in the middle of the day, and we were there, and he was like, we looked at the time, and was like, League of Gentlemen film starts in 10 minutes. So we snuck into the League of Gentlemen film. It is not good.
It's not, is it?
But we were just like, we never left. We watched it, and it was just
And
like,
aged well, has it,
glad,
that one?
glad we didn't pay for that. The only one I can think of that I've turned off recently was, again, I see films through for some reason, but the only one I've turned off recently was Six Underground.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Netflix film. It's Ryan Reynolds. And
that
Michael
one.
Bay,
Oh shit! Yeah, with the big car chase at the beginning.
and it is just pure Michael Bay and absolute fucking shite. And I was just like, this is boring the life out of me. Like, it's just.
I don't think I've liked any Michael Bay films.
I just thought I really like Ryan Reynolds, and I know and obviously this film and other films he makes questionable choices at times, but I was just like, this is just awful, just bleh. And I was like, nah, and I turned it off.
It's easy when it's on Netflix, though, isn't it? It's like, fuck this.
Yeah, I just hated it so much. I was like,
put this. We'll watch the rest of Development. Don't worry about it. It's easier.
So I've never walked out of a film. The closest I came to walking out of a film was Ready Player One. Did
it really offend you, that?
I was unreasonably offended by it.
Because you liked the book, didn't you?
But that's the thing, because I loved the book and they changed so much of it. But then also kind of in retrospect, I realised how much of a really, really terrible cunt Ernest Cline is.
Yeah, there is that.
But yeah, the film itself is just... The film takes a book that is probably on balance average, but
it's
entertaining.
just Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, isn't it?
Yeah, and the film turns the story into a load of shite with a sprinkling of sexism and far too much product placement.
But there's a Gundam in it.
Awful. Well, there's also fucking Jim Raynor from StarCraft in it. That doesn't make up for it.
The book just full of product placement in a way, though.
No, well, sort of. But the book's
references,
full of,
isn't it? Rather than
it's like references and nostalgia. So it's all stuff from the 80s. So it's like there's a very specific Dungeons and Dragons dungeon that's mentioned in it. There's lots of 80s video games and movies and that kind of thing. Whereas the film has a lot of current things. So like you see a glimpse of Tracer from Overwatch in it. And like it lost all of the 1980s stuff so it could appeal to a current
And it didn't do it
audience.
well like Wreck-It Ralph did it? That's the
No,
thing. Wreck-It
no.
Ralph, that's how you do it.
I didn't mind Ready Player One. I'm not pressure. I never read the book, so I've said nothing to go on. The story's bobbins. I just enjoy just spotting references.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you read the book or listen to the audiobook, it's so different to the film. Like the book's actually entertaining. Also, like they do stuff like they turn IROC into the primary antagonist when he's not, and they also ruin Sorrento's character because Sorrento was actually a 7 out of 10 baddie in the book, and he just becomes this snivelling piece of shit. In the
he's
film.
thingy though, isn't it? He's what's his name?
Yeah,
Ben Mendelsohn. I love him.
Oh yeah, and like when you then see him in Star Wars, he's so much better.
He's so good in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Rogue One, he plays a baddie.
Yeah.
In fact, the character he plays in Rogue One is what Sorrento should have been.
He's so good in that. So good.
But yes, that's the closest I came to walking out of a film. But again, in the same kind of logic as Stig, I've fucking prepared for this.
I bet you. Sometimes though, you're like, maybe it gets better, and then you're like, oh my god, there's 10 minutes left. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better.
Yeah, basically,
fucked it.
The last film that I turned off with an absolute vengeance was Valerian.
I turned that off.
And
Shit, yeah, I turned that off, mate. It's boring.
Was it Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets? Or some
shite.
Something like
It's boring, isn't it?
No, it wasn't boring.
It
It's
is.
actively the worst film I've ever seen. And I've seen some shite.
I watched that and Jupiter Ascending in the same day.
Just because you really hate yourself.
Yeah. Oh, so disappointed.
Yeah, Valerian is just don't. The problem with Valerian is like you come into it thinking, hey, it's from Luc Besson, it's him doing sci-fi again. I love The Fifth Element. No, Luc Besson's that was the last good film he did.
He'll never do a Fifth Element again.
No, don't go there. And the annoying thing is, like visually, it's stunning. Like there's a lot of really cool, a lot of really cool special effects shots and like really interesting artwork to the.
It's
film.
odd sci-fi as well, and it's like fantasy sci-fi. It's weird.
Yeah, and like it's like the opening scene had me grip. Like the opening scene with those blue aliens, and then getting destroyed, kind of thing. And then the actors turn up, or more precisely, the human skin puppets that they have in place of actors, because it's Cara Delevingne as one of the stars, and she can't fucking act.
And the little green goblin guy.
Yeah, and the pseudo-incestuous, weird romance, not romance,
like
hate each other. Yes, but no humble Rachel Green.
No.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, so me and Pip watched about 40 minutes of that and went, no! Even Peter Serafinowicz can't save a scene, you've got to turn it off.
Yeah, agreed. It's too fucking loud!
I've nearly walked out of Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Oh, Prometheus was such a letdown.
Those would be perfectly acceptable films to
My
walk out of.
expectations were way too
Covenant,
high.
Covenant's worse than Prometheus.
It is.
It's way worse.
Prometheus is misguided.
Yeah, it's not an alien film, is it?
No, but the Prometheus sets up
Neither
some
of them
interesting
are.
things, and it doesn't quite stick the landing,
Yeah.
but there's some good stuff in
There
it.
is. Yeah.
Alien Covenant is just bad.
It's just shine. Just shine.
It's just trying to remake the first one.
It does that thing that Ryan Reynolds does. It's like, Michael, have you read this script? Have you fucking read this? You're brilliant. You're fucking brilliant. You're a brilliant actor. What are you doing? Same with Assassin's Creed. What the fuck are you doing? When you see Fassbender in Inglourious Bastards, he chews every fucking bit of scenery.
I was going to say, I always forget that he's an Inglourious
He's best one in it.
Yeah, I do
He's
too.
by far the best one in it. That pub scene.
Christoph Waltz?
Yeah, he is. But he's not in a scene with Christoph Waltz. That's the difference.
True, yeah.
When he's in a scene, he is the best. You can't keep your eyes off him. He's really good as Magneto, but he's not in it as much as everybody else. The beginning of
First Class?
No, Apocalypse.
Ugh.
Yeah,
The scene with him in it is the best
Yeah,
bit of the film. He's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, Fassbender. Come on.
Speaking of which, there is one movie I have walked out of, and that's Wolverine.
Oh,
But
shit.
it was Wolverine edited on a cruise ship. So if you imagine that, but with all the gore taken away.
Yeah, 'cause it's
and
quite
the
gory
claws
Wolverine,
going-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was
So-
that not like? Oh, so you weren't watching that one that leaked on the internet?
No,
that
the
had all
Japanese
the-
one he's talking about. I think.
The,
Which one are you talking about? The origins or the Japanese?
The Wolverine.
the Japanese one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate that. It was boring as fuck.
But, yeah, but
He had no powers for half
imagine
of
if
it.
you, no, I didn't
Ugh.
mind it, but the original, if you've actually seen it, is with all the violence in it. Now, if you take the violence out,
It's boring.
it's just such a weird.
It's a love
movie.
story, isn't it?
Yeah, I just walked out. I just couldn't take it. It was so weird.
I really struggled, and I think it was pretty much universally loved as well. So I must have been the only person that really didn't enjoy Ex Machina. It was Alex Garland. I think it was his first
like
outing
I
as
like
a
it as
director,
well.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, see, it's just me. I just found it
You're a
so
rotter.
sort of... I know, that's me fired. I just found it so sort of monotonous, and I just found it boring. And I did eventually get to the end of it. I think it took 3 goes, but I
It's not
can't...
super long either.
No, exactly.
But it is a slow movie. It is slow.
Yeah,
I'll give
it
it that.
is.
It's slow, and on the face of it, it's something that I would normally really enjoy as well. Like, I love a sci-fi, I love Alex Garland, I love everyone, like all the actors that are in it, and it just didn't hit for me.
Oh, wow.
And I would struggle to tell you even anything that happened in it. I remember this. I remember the scenery.
Pretty
I remember
Robot
the
Girl.
setting. Yeah, exactly. That was it.
Kissing.
Oscar Isaac beardy.
Yeah, drunk.
The end of that film absolutely kills me.
There's obviously something in it that I'm missing, and maybe if I watch it, maybe I need to be drunk or high.
It reminds me of a film that, and I don't even know if it is. It reminds me of a short story adapted into a film. It should have been a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, it would have been brilliant as Black Mirror. Yeah,
A little bit
I
quicker,
think maybe
a little
it
bit
was
snappier.
just a bit too.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a little bit. Maybe it was just a little bit too drawn
There's
out.
a lot
for
of the
me,
ginger guy staring at walls, isn't there?
Yeah.
which
It was
isn't my
just trying
idea
to
of
build up.
entertainment.
I still think it's
Have you,
brilliant, though.
have you walked out of anything then, Candy, out the cinema, or just...
I haven't. I have seen people walk out of. The one time I did see somebody walk out of a film was The Devil's Rejects.
Oh, I love that
And
film.
I think it was a midnight. It was a midnight showing as well, and it was like a fairly old elderly couple. So it makes me wonder what they were doing there in
What
the
did they
first place.
expect?
They probably thought they'd gone
And
to
it's called
Mecca
The Devil's
Bingo.
Rejects. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe. But it's called The Devil's Rejects as well. Like, what were they expecting? There's no way of framing that as what it.
You should have gone, excuse me, did you watch A House of a Thousand Corpses, the one before this?
I guess I loved that one.
That just reminded me of the time I went to see Deadpool and this old couple came and sat and watched Deadpool. I thought it was just really odd.
They probably thought it were a cowboy film, because there's an old cowboy film called The Deadpool.
No, I tell you what, don't watch The Devil's Rejects sequel.
I have, and I didn't like it.
Do not watch that.
Nah, I didn't like it. Rob Zombie's Fall from Grace.
You
Bye.
did that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right. You're in a Royal Rumble match. How does it play out?
Us lot,
Mm-hmm.
I fucking win.
No, you don't.
Wow.
How do you reckon that?
Because I bring weapons.
Stig is our resident wrestling expert. Are weapons allowed in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
There's no rules as long as
I
you.
suppose like chairs.
You ain't
Yeah.
gonna win, mate. Me and Gadget will tag team your ass. I'm
Nah,
telling
see,
you.
I've seen too many Royal Rumbles and Battle Royals. I know how to take the big guys out.
Yeah, get them tired.
Yeah, you get
I've
them
seen
over
Rocky
the rope,
3.
get them around the head, and you just pull them over the top rope, and then they go over.
Yeah,
Or
the bigger they are, the harder the
pull
fall.
the momentum over with them, and they just topple over the top rope.
Okay. This is how I see it going down. It starts off with Candy knocking out Oodles by throwing her cat at him. He'll be too distracted with the cat, and he'll fall out of the ring.
But I won't
Candy
feel
will-
it as a loss. I'd gained a cat. I'm like, yes.
Oh, I didn't think so. He's coming back to me.
Candy will get knocked out by Stig because Stig will open his shirt and she'll be too interested in critiquing
In his
the
nipples.
tattoos,
Oh.
allowing him to pick her up and throw her out. Stig will be knocked out by me because I'll just literally barge him out of the ring, and then
Giant ace stacks.
then the finale will be me versus Biggie, and Biggie will win it because I couldn't bring myself to hit such a perfect specimen of a man.
There is that.
Oh.
There is that.
And you'd be too entranced by me walking in with James Brown Superbad playing.
Exactly, yeah. You see, I don't stand a chance.
What would,
He's
what
quite
would
the
happen
Adonis.
is that Oodles would get knocked out.
Why am I getting
Candy.
knocked out first?
You're the littlest.
Fuck.
Then I'm going to turn heel, throw Candy out.
Ooh.
Then you two, being the bigger guys, it's me, the little guy, against the bigger guys, and everyone thinks, "Oh, this is easy, man. Like them two are just going to throw him out."
We eat you.
No, you run at me. I just pull the top rope down. That's Gadget. He goes over the top rope. He's done. Then Biggie beats the shit out of me for 5 minutes. Gets me on his shoulder. Tries to throw me over. As I go over the top rope, I grab him by the head and I do the old pulling the big guy over the top rope with all his momentum. He flips over. I hold onto the ropes. Stig wins.
Did you put this question in so you could you could
No,
posit
I
this-
just literally. That's just
this
how.
ridiculous
That's just how
situation.
Royal
Plays
Rumbles
differently in my head. Right.
That's how Royal Rumbles end.
Let me
when there's
go.
a big guy against a small guy. in the
No,
ring.
this is how it's
Every
going to
time.
be. Right.
You get eliminated.
No, Candy comes down first. She can't get on the ring. She's disqualified because she can't get up. It's too late.
Why can't I get up?
I don't know. It's just in my head. You can't get on.
Girls aren't allowed to wrestle.
Yeah, girls aren't allowed to wrestle, girl. No, you get in. You get in. You're playing to the crowd. You're a face. Everyone's like, yay, yay. Then Biggie runs in. Boom.
I wouldn't run.
All right, Biggie bounds in
Thunders in.
and just choke
Gentle trot.
slams you out of the ring. No remorse. And then he's like, he's now the heel. Gadget runs in. Then there's a bit of a, do you know when they're just
Goliath. Yeah, big guys.
They're just clamping. Gadget gets knocked into turnbuckle, needs to catch his breath. Stig runs in, break the walls down. He's here, he's coming down, and he's doing all these fancy moves on Biggie. Biggie eventually just gets fucked up. Biggie's out over the
Biggie
side.
dies.
Then by that time, Gadget's got his wind back. Surprises Stig, surprises him with a blindsider. Absolutely flings him out of the ring. Then I run down last minute, and because Gadget's knackered, I just win by attrition. That's how I see it.
No, I see the same scenario, Oodles.
But me out first.
But no. You're in the ring first, and you're one of those guys who just like goes
Runs
and sits
around.
in the corners, sits in the corner, or goes under the ropes and sits
Yeah.
under the ring. Gadget thinks he's won at the end
Yeah.
by throwing me out.
Yeah.
And as he's celebrating, you come in, drop kick him in the back of the head, and he goes over the ropes.
Ultimate heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Here's how I see it.
Here we go.
Wrestling sucks ass, and it just doesn't happen.
Oh. Or we just all end up embracing and having a really good time.
Yeah, could you imagine the
that's
crowd
nice.
seeing
What-
that one?
Or we do
What
that.
would everybody's intro
but
music
Candy then low blows us all and throws us out.
Yeah, that's true.
You're all getting wedgies.
Yeah,
That's
true.
my finishing move, the
That
wedgie.
is true.
She goes
Yeah,
full
yeah,
China, low blows us all, and throws us out.
Yeah, Candy
Yeah, well,
wins.
I think
Well-
I'm going to tag team with Stig because he seems to know what he's doing. So I'm just going to get into the. I can get into the ring.
So we can whisper moves to do in your ear. Do this.
Exactly. I'm
That's
going to
how it
go get
works.
everyone riled up,
That's how it
send him
works.
in, let him do all the hard work, get everyone tired out. Then I'm coming back, tagging in, wedging.
I'd like to.
You're
I'd
out.
like to see myself as a Mick Foley type, a bit of a fall guy. I can take them big hits. I've cut my face with a razor. Oh, do you know what I mean? I want to be like
Just
that.
blood gushing.
Yeah, blood, absolute gushing.
Yeah, got to have a bit of colour.
Yeah, I like to. I'd like
can
to
I
be
be
fall guy.
Hulk
I'm not a
Hogan?
technical wrestler. I'm just there
Oh.
for everyone else.
Very quickly, what are your outfits then? What you wearing?
Leotard, full on. Do you know
Yeah.
over the shoulder Big Show one though? But I ain't got the body like Big Show. It just looks ridiculous.
Oh, you can't wear a leotard.
A
as small
unitard.
man. I would always go long tights and boots. I just find it weird running around in little speedos.
I'd probably wear actually X-Pac t-shirt. You know what I mean? Some shorts.
I'd get the tiniest speedo. I come in wearing that.
Oh mate.
I was going to say,
Andre
what
the
are the
Giant.
grossly,
Mannequin.
what do the grossly overweight wrestlers wear?
Trunks,
They tend to wear
dungarees,
yeah, like Andre the Giant, like a
unitard
Singlet
thing.
thing.
singlet, yeah, singlet,
Fine.
with like, yeah.
Put me in one of them. Whatever covers the most of
And
me.
then you can then you pull the strap down, and that's when it's business when the straps come down.
Gadget threw in a good question then though. Intro music. What's your Titantron fucking intro?
Already got mine.
Go on. What is
You
it?
already know. James Brown, super bad.
Love it.
Mine is really shit, but because I just like the intro. You know, "Blow Me Away" by Breaking Benjamin,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it has that like bit at
Yeah.
the beginning, and then the guitars hit, and it's just like it's a perfect like kind of build up. Then the guitars hit, so
Yeah.
I've always just had that like.
Nice.
Mine would be the Mjolnir mix of the Halo theme tune, the one with Steve Violent. Just the lights go down here. Yeah.
Enya
Give
walks
me that.
in.
Mine would be a Love Gun by Kiss.
Oh yes.
And then I'd be like that. And I'd have full face paint on as well.
Go on then, Joe. What's yours?
I'm going to go with Enter Sandman. I think Metallica.
Ah,
And I would dress as a member of Gwar probably, like the most over the top, shoulder pads,
Goblin thing.
shoes
Sandman's
that
great.
10 inches high. Just I'd go all out.
Watch The Sandman.
Yeah.
One Night Stand 2005. Look that up after Joe. And watch the crowd singing "Enter Sandman" as someone comes to the ring.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
It's got a good intro for running down the
Yeah,
ramp.
I can see that working.
Right, our final question. So you're on a desert island. You can only watch a film, play a game, listen to music, or read books recommended by one of the other hosts. They alone decide your entertainment diet. Who would you each of you pick? So we didn't just spend ages going one by one here. I've split this down. I'm going to start with Oodles. Oodles, you have to give Gadget a film,
Yeah.
Biggie music, me a game, and Candy a book.
So film for Gadget would be Fellowship of the Ring Extended Edition.
Fabulous.
I think
I'll take that.
I think he'd be into that. What's the
But
next
he's not
one?
allowed, but he's not allowed the other two.
No.
He's never allowed to finish.
He
this
knows how it
trilogy
ends.
off.
He knows how it
Oh,
ends.
that's nasty.
But it's nice and wholesome, isn't it? That first one.
Music for Biggie.
Music for Biggie. NWA. First album.
Yeah, you have to give me a game.
Dark Souls.
Ugh. Candy, a book.
How do you not pick Final Fantasy?
Because he won't
for it?
appreciate that. What? A book. A book.
Book.
I'd say the Oxford English Dictionary.
Enjoy reading that, Candy. Right, Gadget.
What are you trying to say? Hang on a
Nothing.
minute.
I just thought
What's an evil man?
plenty of content. And
So firstly, I can't get in the ring. Now I can't speak English.
I don't know how to talk to girls.
See, he said, I'm going to wing this. At least I've prepared some answers. Gadget, you need to give Candy a film.
For a film for Candy, it's got to be Glenn Danzig's directorial debut of Verotica.
Oh, an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
So I
Which
hear.
Which, if you haven't heard of that, that is an anthology of erotic horror films. And it is quite universally one of the worst films ever made.
Yeah.
But it is Glenn Danzig, so it scores points in Candy's estimations.
Music.
For you, I am going to suggest you listen to "Casually Dressed and Deep in Conversation" for the rest of time by Funeral for a Friend, because it's a fucking banging album from the early 2000s.
I think he'd like that.
I do
Yeah.
like Funeral for a Friend, so good with that. Game for Biggie.
I'm going to subject him to Killzone 2 for the rest of his life. He argued about it for like 6
would
episodes
say
of the
that.
podcast.
As long as,
Does he have a
as long as it's
LAN
service.
connection so he can play it online?
Oh god, no! It's just a campaign.
Oh, God.
Oh, poor Biggie. And a book for Oodles.
Now, you see, thinking of a book for Oodles was the hardest thing, because I could have recommended that he just goes in for Rendezvous with Rama, but that
I've read it 3 times.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't really know. I couldn't think of any books that involve sex with aliens, but then after the last episode that we recorded,
I'm into it now.
yeah, he's into it now. So we're going to take it away from sci-fi, and I'm going to recommend that he reads Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock for the rest of eternity.
All of them are just
All of them, yeah.
nice. There's loads.
Yeah.
There is, but on average, they're actually not that good.
No, I've only read Baskervilles. I've only ever read that one.
Baskervilles is good.
See,
I've been to
I've
that.
tried to be nice to you people stuck on the island here.
I
So
don't
for,
think I've been horrible to people.
No, I'm
No,
I'm
for
up
me
with
you've been
Sherlock.
alright. Yeah, but you Killzone 2?
Whoa,
That's proper
hello.
cruel, that, isn't it?
No, it's
So
not what I'm happy
I
about.
for a film I have Biggie,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna Biggie. You get to watch Heat for the rest of your life because
yeah.
I think you like a good cop drama. This is one of the best with great performances
the big
by
cop
both its
man.
leads. It's got that awesome, tense, and very accurate shootout in the middle, and I think you'd enjoy watching Heat forever.
Yeah.
Oodles, music.
Yeah.
So I know you like your metal,
Mhm.
so there's no point in me giving you some metal. I'm going to give you some chilled out music, and I've mentioned him already. City and Colour. I want you to feel chilled out. I want you to feel
Relaxed.
relaxed while you're on the island, not stressed out, not getting worked up by thrash metal or anything like that.
Okay.
So, the guy's got various different levels of acoustics and evolved his sound throughout his time.
I can dig
He's
that.
got about 6 albums now, so yeah, you'd enjoy
I
that.
can dig that, mate.
A game for Candy. I've gone for Disco Elysium
Ooh.
Oh,
because it's hours of fantastic narrative. You can be played more than once. You can play it over and over again with different builds, and you could just never get bored with it.
Yeah.
You can eventually get the same ending, but
Which version does she have to play? The PlayStation one or the PC version?
Oh, she gets the one with all the updated
The bells and whistles,
voice,
yeah.
voice, yeah, all the
Nice.
full
Nice.
no stuff.
Oh, that's very generous
It's
of
so
you. Thank
kind,
you.
isn't it?
I am being kind. Like a book, though, right? Because I've not really read a book that this is a profound and excellent book. Everything I kind of read is a fantasy, is
And who's this for Gadget?
fantasy. This is for Gadget. Yeah.
He's a fucking nerd. He'll take anything off you.
Yeah, but I didn't want to suggest a series that's unfinished. Because many of the fantasy series that I read.
That'd piss you off.
Yeah,
unfinished.
and you are a bit of a slut for serialized fantasy.
He is.
Have you read his Dark Materials?
Yes.
Did you like his Dark Materials?
Yeah, I did. Very good books.
Good, because that's what I've given you.
That's what you're having.
Excellent. Excellent. I'll take it.
Because it's a fantasy novel with like you've pointed out before, there's a lot of stuff, and there's that anti-religion in there, anti-establishment stuff in there. But I really think the main characters are two excellent characters, and it's a nice contained trilogy. So.
Superb.
Candy, you have to give me a film.
I'm going to give you Castaway.
It'll help.
Because what a better way to pass the time.
Yeah.
And you might get a couple of ideas, and hopefully you'll be stranded along with a football that you could maybe give
Netball.
Yeah.
Netball, I do apologise, that you could maybe name and make yourself a little friend. And
I do like
when the time
Castaway,
comes,
but...
craft yourself a raft and hope for the
I
best.
hope you don't get a tooth ulcer like he does in Castaway when he has to knock it out with that fucking ice skate. Ugh.
Yeah, but it would pass the time, though, if he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something to do, isn't it?
Dentistry.
Just rip your teeth out, yeah. Music for Gadget.
Gadget, you're getting the anthology of Bob Marley. Because if you're on a desert island, what do you want to listen to? If you're kicking back on the beach, you might as well have a good time. You might not have any alcohol, you might not have anything to smoke, but you've got Bob Marley.
So why does he get to have a good time and I have to watch a film about a man stuck on a beach?
For inspiration.
Inspiration.
I mean, for what it's worth, I despise reggae. So yeah,
Now's your time to come to love it, because that's all you've got.
my beach listening music is Cannibal Corpse. Very relaxing.
A game for Oodles.
I'm so sorry, Eagles, but you're getting Fallout 76.
Why?
Because somebody has to play it until they like it.
Offline Fallout 76.
Offline,
It won't work
yes.
then, will it?
Ouch.
Oh, it would work, but barely.
It would be very, very
I've just got the
barren.
title screen saying unable to connect, haven't I? Forever.
So what's different from
Yeah, that's true.
being able to...
Yeah, so you're walking around in the game shouting, "Hello, is anyone there?" Just as you are on the island.
That's the worst thing I've ever been recommended in my life.
I really apologize. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
On the wind, you can hear Todd Howard just giggling and saying, "It just works. Just works."
And I bash my own skull in with chuffing coconut.
Although maybe you could use the thrown away disc trays to craft a sort of a raft or something to float to freedom.
Well, I'll tell you what, Oodles, you'd still have a better time than Candy, who has to read a dictionary forever.
I don't know. A dictionary's fucking good. You'll there's words that you. Wow, I didn't know that were a word. And then you come
Yeah,
back.
but who am I going to use them
when
on?
you get off the island eventually, you'll be really good at countdown.
You'd be the most learned person in the world. With
English.
words.
You'll be a scholar in English.
I'd probably lose all ableness to speak, which is ironic because I literally just did lose all ableness to speak.
You need it.
What about a book for Biggie?
You're getting Call of the Cthulhu.
Ooh.
The
Necronomicon.
Up for that.
Yeah, just to get the imagination going and just to really think about what could go wrong.
Yeah, and the thing is...
As if being stranded wasn't
Call of
enough.
Cthulhu's not very long either, so you're going to be reading it a lot of times.
Until you go mad.
Yeah, it's not long.
Yep. Until you descend into madness.
Oh, you will.
Which is pretty
Every
appropriate.
noise you hear on the wind.
Yeah.
You're like, "Ah!"
Yeah, every time you look into the ocean, is that the great old one himself?
No,
I'm
it's
so
just
sorry.
Oodles.
I've been so mean to everyone.
I like it.
It was fun though.
I like Castaway, but I don't know if I'd want to be watching it.
Wilson!
Biggie, finally, a film for Oodles.
I was torn between
Oh no, please.
one of my favourite movies, which is very underrated, is Out of Sight. You guys seen
No.
that? With
Yeah.
George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez.
But that
of all
helps if
people.
I've never seen it, though. At least the first
But it's
time, I'm going to
really
be like,
good.
brilliant. Here we go.
And it's a very, very subtle humour. It's brilliant. Very, very cool.
Is George
movie.
Clooney absolutely gorgeous in it?
He is, and he's
Perfect.
excellent in it as well.
Perfect.
But if it wasn't that, it'd be Kung Pao, Enter the Fist, which I thought would be... have you ever seen that?
No.
It's,
Oh, I think
it's
I have. Is that
like
the one where he has a
Naked
fight
Gun
with a
version
cow?
of martial art movies. And it's so bad, it's good.
Oh no, I've
So
gone.
we've
So
lost
there's
Oodles.
Oodles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I lost all
Yes,
you
it is.
guys.
Is there a girl with 3 tits or has she got 1 tit? I think it's 1 tit, isn't it? The 1 tit character.
I think
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
the trailer rather than the film. He does have a fight with a cow, doesn't he? I didn't hear your
You
response.
should watch that, yeah.
Using gophers as nunchucks.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer, definitely.
What?
It's so bad.
I also
it's
seen.
good.
I've seen. Is it Shaolin Soccer? That were a good one.
Yeah, that's really
That were a
good.
good one.
So-
some music
go on.
for Candy.
This is a tough one because I assume she's a metaler like the rest of you guys. So I thought What
The
else
Beach
could I get
Boys.
to listen to? So I've already put it in the Discotheque channel, and it's the LTJ Bookham Mix Mag Live, which is a drum and bass of almost 2 hours of just perfect mixing. It's
She
incredible.
fucking loves drum and bass. Look at her.
I know,
I'm
exactly.
looking it up now. I actually do like a bit of drum and bass.
Check
Yeah.
that out. It is awesome. Such a good mix. One of the most perfect mixes of music ever. For gadgets, I was torn between Football Manager.
I know.
They keep you going. Honestly, if you want a game
It never
that
ends, mate.
never
Yeah.
ends. Yeah, it's a never-ending
But then I
game.
thought-
You even have a family on it.
I was just thinking he was trying to give me Killzone 2, but without the multiplayer, so I've decided to go for Bloodborne, the PS1 demake version.
I'd still play
He'd
the shit
fucking
out of
love
that.
that.
I would
I
actually.
don't think he
He
would.
would.
Janky
A lot-
Bloodborne, I'd be up for that.
A lot more than Football Manager.
Also, you realise if you gave me Football Manager, I would make it my life's work just to tank Liverpool as many times as possible.
They'll do that on their own.
Just get them down to the Vauxhall Conference. Have to sell Anfield and play ask to borrow Everton's ground.
Oh, imagine that.
I'm just going to kick him off.
You have no authority here.
Damn you, Jackie Weaver.
Right, what book are you giving me then?
I like the Charlie Parker novels by John Connolly. I might have mentioned them on the
I think you
pod
did.
before in the early days. But yeah, really cool series of detective novels, but with a unique vibe. Really cool.
Is it not,
Do check it
not
out.
fantasy?
No.
No, but well, there's a little bit of dark stuff in there.
It's a detective novel, so there's semen everywhere. That's how they solve all the crimes.
There's no wizards and magic. I'm not interested.
There's some.
I'll
dark
use it for
stuff
firewood.
there. Trust me, there's a little bit in there, which is why I think you'd like.
Hence why the Oxford English Dictionary would be good as well for firewood. Think about it.
Oh, for fuel.
For
yeah.
fuel, yeah.
Yeah.
And rolling some plants that you'd find. I don't know.
Yep. Right, that's it. That's all of our questions from this first time round. I hope everyone enjoyed that. And we will do another one of these. It won't be a monthly thing. It'll just be when we get a load of good questions in. So keep them coming. Send us to us on Discord, on Twitter, DM us, whatever. If you've just got a random stupid question, throw it in there, and we'll... once we've got enough questions to put together a podcast, we'll do another one of these. Thank you for subscribing, being a patron, and look out for our next episode. Toodles!